peace and certainty of divine guidance are like beacons in the fog of our daily struggles, illuminating paths we might otherwise overlook.
Have you ever felt as if a higher power was trying to communicate with you through your thoughts? Many people across different cultures and religions believe that God can guide us through subtle messages in our minds. Today, we're going to explore how this might happen, the signs that suggest it's taking place, and how we can better tune in to this divine guidance. Whether you're deeply spiritual or simply curious about these experiences, this video will offer a thoughtful look into the idea that our minds can be conduits for messages beyond our understanding. When we talk about divine communication, what exactly do we mean? In the broadest sense, this refers to the concept that a higher power, which we'll refer to as God for the sake of simplicity, communicates with individuals in a way that transcends ordinary human interactions. This communication isn't necessarily about hearing a distinct voice. Rather, it's about perceiving guidance through insights, feelings, and sometimes a deep, internal knowing. For many, these messages are not loud or overt. Instead, they are like whispers in the mind, easy to overlook, yet profound in their impact when noticed. This form of communication can be seen as an inner dialogue where one feels led or influenced by a wisdom greater than their own. It's important to understand that such experiences are reported not only in Christianity, but in many religious and spiritual traditions around the world. Each culture might interpret the nature of these messages differently, but the underlying theme is consistent. There is a belief in an ability to receive guidance that helps one navigate through life. In trying to understand this phenomenon, we should consider its nature. It's not about commands or coercions. Rather, divine communication often involves guidance that encourages growth, comfort, and understanding. It may come during moments of meditation or prayer, or even at times of great need when clarity seems to emerge from the chaos of our thoughts. The key to recognizing this type of communication lies in its quality and impact. It often promotes peace, clarity, and a sense of purpose that seems beyond our normal cognitive processes. This kind of guidance is typically characterized by a feeling of naturalness and rightness. It doesn't feel alien or imposed. Rather, it feels as if it's a natural part of our deepest self. Understanding this can help individuals discern what part of their mental activity might be considered divine communication. It's about feeling aligned with a course of action or thought that, although it might challenge us, also brings a sense of peace and rightness that is hard to ignore. While we look into this video, we'll look at various ways people have described their experiences with divine guidance, the signs that suggest you might be receiving such guidance, and methods to increase your receptivity to these messages. By the end of this discussion, you should have a better understanding of how divine communication can manifest and how you might be able to connect with it in your own life. In the next part of our video, we will explore some historical and scriptural examples where this kind of communication played a pivotal role. Although we won't focus on specific characters, we will look at general patterns and themes that show the importance of divine communication across different epochs and societies. Remember, the aim here is not to convince you of any particular belief, but to explore an idea that has been significant to many people around the world. Whether this concept is new to you or something you've wondered about for a long time, we invite you to consider these perspectives with an open mind and reflect on how they might be relevant to your own experiences and beliefs. As we move forward, let's shift our focus to the broader perspective by examining how divine communication has been perceived across different cultures and historical periods. Although we won't look into specific character-driven stories, understanding these general themes can provide valuable insight into the significance of such communication. Throughout history, many religious texts and traditions have referenced moments where divine guidance played a crucial role in shaping the paths of communities and individuals. These references often describe moments of profound insight or revelation that come during critical junctures, providing clarity and direction that seem beyond the reach of ordinary human deliberation. For instance, many scriptures discuss the concept of prophets or spiritual leaders receiving guidance that they then share with others, which helps to guide moral and ethical decisions, lead people in times of turmoil, or even found entire religions. These historical examples serve to illustrate a pattern that divine communication often emerges in times of great need or significant change. This pattern suggests that such communications are not just random occurrences, but are tied to key moments in an individual's life or in the history of a community. Understanding this can help us recognize the potential significance of our own experiences with what we might perceive as divine guidance. Now let's consider how one might identify divine communication in their own life. Recognizing these signs is crucial, as they often differ significantly from our normal thought processes. Here are some indications that might suggest your thoughts are being influenced by a higher power. Unexplained peace. One of the most common signs reported is a profound sense of peace that comes with certain thoughts or ideas, especially in situations where such peace seems counterintuitive. This peace often feels deep and encompassing, as if assuring one that the path revealed is the right one, despite external circumstances. Sense of certainty. Another sign is experiencing a sudden clarity and certainty about a decision or direction in life. This isn't about being closed-minded, but rather about an unshakable confidence that feels both calming and empowering, alignment with moral or ethical values. Thoughts or insights that are truly from a divine source often align closely with one's deepest moral and ethical convictions. These are not about leading one into dubious or harmful actions, but rather promote love, compassion, and justice. Persistence and consistency. Divine communications are often persistent. They don't just appear once and then disappear. They come back repeatedly, gently pushing one towards a certain action or decision. Promotion of growth and goodwill. These communications often encourage actions that promote personal growth, healing, or goodwill towards others. They inspire one to act in ways that are beneficial not just for oneself but for the community as a whole. Recognizing these signs requires attentiveness and openness. It involves being mindful of how certain thoughts make you feel, and considering their content and origin. Are they leading you towards something good and just? Do they bring peace and clarity, or do they stir confusion and discomfort? These questions can help you discern whether what you're experiencing might indeed be divine guidance. As we look into the topic of divine communication, it's essential to discuss practices that can enhance our sensitivity to these subtle messages. Meditation and prayer are two such practices widely recognized for their role in quieting the mind and opening the heart, making them invaluable tools for anyone seeking to connect more deeply with divine guidance. Meditation, in its many forms, helps to clear the mind of everyday clutter and noise. This mental quietude is not merely about silence, but about creating a space where insights can surface and be noticed without the usual barrage of distractions. For those new to meditation, the practice involves sitting quietly, focusing on the breath, and gently guiding the mind back when it wanders. This discipline of returning to focus is what gradually enhances one's ability to remain present and receptive to the subtle cues that might be divine in origin. Similarly, prayer, whether it's petitionary or contemplative, opens a dialogue with the divine. It involves not only speaking, but listening. Creating a space in your life for silence after prayer can be just as important as the words spoken. This receptive phase of prayer is where many believers report feeling the presence of divine guidance most strongly. The key here is to approach with an open heart, one that is ready to listen and accept guidance, even when it leads down an unexpected path. Both meditation and prayer require regular practice to be effective. They are not quick fixes, but rather long-term commitments that gradually attune one's mind to discern the subtleties of divine communication. By dedicating time to these practices, individuals can develop a more profound sensitivity to the guidance that may be offered to them through their thoughts and feelings. As we explore further the nature of divine communication, it's beneficial to consider the psychological perspective on how individuals interpret such experiences. Understanding this can help us appreciate the role of our own minds in identifying and responding to what we might consider divine guidance. Psychologists suggest that the perception of divine communication could be influenced by various psychological states, including intense emotional experiences, stress, or even immense joy. These states can heighten our receptivity to making meaningful connections between unrelated events or ideas, often imbuing them with a spiritual or divine significance. This doesn't necessarily diminish the validity of divine communication for those who experience it, but it helps us understand the complexities of how our minds work. Believing in divine guidance can have notable psychological benefits. For many, it provides a sense of security and support, especially in times of uncertainty or difficulty. This belief can foster a strong sense of purpose and direction, enhancing mental resilience against everyday stresses and challenges. It can also promote a positive psychological state by encouraging feelings of hope and optimism, as individuals feel they are not alone but are supported by a higher power. While accepting the possibility of divine communication, it is crucial to exercise discernment. Discernment is the ability to judge well and is especially important in differentiating between true divine guidance and our own desires or fears masquerading as such. To cultivate discernment, consider these strategies. Reflect on the content. Analyze whether the guidance aligns with your core values and ethical beliefs. Divine communication typically encourages actions that are beneficial, not just to oneself, but also to others. Seek confirmation. Sometimes, confirming what we perceive as divine guidance with trusted advisors or within one's spiritual community can provide additional perspectives that help validate or question our interpretations. Consistency with religious teachings. For those who follow specific religious teachings, comparing perceived divine messages against these can serve as a helpful filter. Messages that starkly contradict one's religious doctrines might require more thorough examination. Practical outcomes. Reflect on the practical outcomes of following the perceived guidance. Genuine divine guidance tends to lead to positive changes and growth, rather than confusion or harm. By applying these measures of discernment, individuals can more confidently determine whether their experiences of perceived divine communication are likely genuine and worth following. This careful evaluation helps maintain a balance between openness to divine messages and wise judgment in interpreting them. As we conclude our exploration of divine communication, let's recap the insights and strategies we've discussed. The concept of divine communication, where individuals believe they receive guidance through their thoughts and feelings, is a profound one that spans various cultures and religious traditions. We've looked at how this communication may manifest, the signs that may indicate its presence, and the methods through which one can enhance their receptiveness to such messages. It's important to remember that whether you identify with a specific faith or hold a more secular viewpoint, the idea of being guided by a force beyond our immediate perception challenges us to consider deeper aspects of our existence and consciousness. This exploration invites us to be more mindful and attentive to our inner experiences, encouraging a thoughtful examination of where our thoughts lead us and why.